Today we're going to be making our very own DIY board games. We love playing board games around here, my house, and we even love making our own board games. Do any of you play board games where you live? What are some of the board games that you like to play? Yeah, those are good ones. So here's what we'll need for our DIY board games. You'll need a piece of cardboard. Doesn't really matter what size. I usually use 12 inch by 12 inch. I just found this old piece of cardboard. It actually has a little bit of pizza grease on it, but it's okay because we're going to cover it up. So you need a piece of cardboard, a piece of paper to do a little bit of planning, scissors, glue, tape, pencil, something to color with. Today I'm just going to be using markers. If you have some recycled junk laying around, corks, bottle caps, this is a juice cap. These will be handy if you want to use those. You don't have to. You're also going to want some scrap cardboard. I have a couple different pieces of scrap cardboard that I got out of our recycling. And here's what we'll do. When I'm making a board game, I first like to think of a theme. So like Candyland, the theme is candy. Chutes and Ladders, you're trying to get to the end by either rolling, or if you land on a ladder, you shoot up, but if you land on a slide, you go down. So there's some obstacles in the way too. I think what I'm gonna do is a Star Wars theme game because we're really into Star Wars around here, especially my 6-year-old son. So I'm gonna think of a Star Wars game, and I need to think of 3 things. 1, what is the board gonna look like? 2, what are the characters gonna look like that I'm gonna move on the board? And 3, how are they gonna move? You could roll a dice, you could draw a card, you can make a spinner. So I want you to think about those 3 things. So what I'm gonna do first is take my scrap paper, and I'm gonna just do a little sketch of the board and maybe of the characters I wanna use. So, think for the board, just gonna draw a square. And I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a starting planet, and then I'm gonna have a lot of different planets. As I'm thinking about this, I think what I'll do actually is have an end planet, and your job is to try to get to the end planet without being sent back to the other planets by the dark side. I think that's what I'll do. Okay, so I'm gonna make a trail, basically. I think that's what my board is gonna look like. These are gonna be the big planets, and then you also have to jump on these little dots too to get from planet to planet. I think for characters, I'll do a Yoda. So I'm just gonna draw a little draft here of a Yoda. It's not my best Yoda. I think I'll do Princess Leia. I think I'll do Darth Maul. And I'll do one more character so that 4 people can play. We have 4 people in our family, so you can do as many players as you want. It can be 2 players, 4. 1 player might be not as much fun because 1 person would be playing with themselves, so you might want to think about that. And I think I'll do Luke Skywalker. Okay, so now that I have my idea for my game, I'm going to think about the players first, and here's why. Before I start making my board, I'm going to make my players so that I know how big to make the planets on my board, because if I make them teeny, but my players are this big, they're not going to be able to fit on it. So what I think I'm going to start with is my players. Like I said, you can use any sort of thing for your players. If you have corks, you can draw little eyeballs on them and make them into characters with yarn or whatever. You can use these, and you can use markers or Sharpies on these to be the players. Or I like to use a cardboard technique, and that actually makes them stand up. So what I'm going to do is determine how big I want my players to be. I think I want them about this big, maybe a little smaller. And you can kind of put them on your board and get a sense of how big they are. So I'm going to cut out 4 pieces of cardboard, the same size. And I'm just going to do shapes for this and actually draw my characters on my cardboard. You all are crafty, so I know that if you want to actually make cardboard people, you can glue cardboard together and make your own. But I'm just going to make simple shapes and draw mine on. Okay, now that I have my 4 pieces cut out, and they're about the same size, I'm going to show you a trick that you can do to make your pieces stand up. So obviously right now, it doesn't stand up, right? So what you're going to do is at the very bottom, cut a slit about that big, and then you're going to cut strips of cardboard. Now what I'm going to do is actually measure, and I'm going to cut the strip of cardboard the same size as that. Then what I'm going to do is just simply put it in the middle, and voila, your piece stands on its own. So that's just a simple way that you guys can make yours. So for my character, I'll probably use pencil first. And I'll start with Yoda. He's got some ears and a cloaked body, arms. And I think I'm going to have each character be a different color too. Yoda's green, obviously. I'll probably add more detail after I'm finished with this video. And then you put the slit back in. Boop, boop. And your player is ready to go. So now that I know the size of my character, I can actually start working on my board because I know how big to make the planets. This is the fun part. So you can use anything. If you want to make your board a little bit more three-dimensional, you can glue on things that are not flat. Like this could be something to jump on. I also happen to have some stickers here. So I think what I'm going to do is use some stickers. And I think I'm going to glue some cardboard on too. So I'm going to cut some circles out of cardboard. And before I glue them down, I'm just going to lay out my board and make sure I have everything I need and where I want it so that I can move on. I think I'll make the planets bigger and then the little dots in between the planets smaller. Cutting them out and putting them on. Maybe I will use a cap for one of mine. This will be the finished planet. You have to get to this planet to win. So I'll do that. Maybe some more stickers in between. I'll do that one. Because these are going to be colored, I think what I'll do is put black dots in between. That's what I'll do. I'll do this, and then that. Just kind of mapping it out. And then this. Okay, I need another planet. Cut some more cardboard here. There we go. Okay, I think I have enough planets. So what I'm going to do is glue those down. I'm just using a regular glue stick for this. Any glue will work. I'm going to just lay out my board first before I start decorating it more. And I think for this one, let's see. That works. Voila. Okay. So now I have the basic path of my planets. I'm going to start by adding dots in between. Maybe these are like stars. Yeah, okay. So I'm going to make them more of a star shape. Okay, so in between my planets are going to be these stars that you also have to land on. So I'm going to keep filling that in. And I think I'm going to add some color to my planets and make each planet a different color. Okay. Now I think I'll fill in the rest of the color and details after. But once you have your details on, if you're using a board like mine out of the recycling, it has scribbles and stuff on it, you can just color over it. So I think I'm going to do my background blue, like it's in this, like the sky. So I'm just going to take my time and start carefully coloring in the background. That'll be fun. And remember, go slow, because it's all about the process. The process is, I think, as much fun as playing your game. So, as you can see, it's going to take me a little while. I'm going to fill in my whole background blue. Okay, now I need to think about if the goal of my game is to get from here to here. I'm going to have to re-glue this on. You want to think how your players are going to move. So we didn't have any extra dice laying around our house, so my son and I made a homemade dice, and I'm going to show you how, because it's a really fun way to know how many times you move. All you need to do is cut 6 squares the same size. So I'm going to use, what am I using? Oh, a piece of candy cardboard, and I'm going to cut, I'm just eyeballing it, which is okay. I'm going to cut 6 squares that are the same size. I'm going to make my dice a little bit bigger than normal die, like this one, because it's more fun to hold and roll. Okay, so I'm going to cut a square, put it on the other piece so I can get the exact same size, and I need 6 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, now this is a cool trick. You're going to take 4 of them and you're going to lay them side by side on the table, just right next to each other. And then I'm going to take tape and I'm going to tape them together. It's okay if it's not perfect. It will still work. Okay, so it looks like this, and then all you have to do is fold it together and put a piece of tape there. So I'm going to do this, fold together, piece of tape. We're almost there. Now all I need to do is tape on the top and bottom. And then voila, you have a die. Now dice, you can do whatever. You can use numbers to know how far you roll. Like for mine, since my planets are all different colors, I could put a color on there. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna do. Instead of numbers on my dice, I'm gonna put a star on one side, and I'm gonna put different colors on the other side. And then, when you roll that color, you have to go to that planet. Okay, I have all my sides taped together. And if I were you, I would add some tape reinforcement, because if you're like us, you're going to be playing your game a lot, so you want it to be pretty sturdy. So if you want to add regular numbers on your die, you can do that, or you can add colors. So I think I'm going to add a pink on this side, a star on one side, and so on. So if I roll a pink, it means I go to the pink planet. If I roll a star, I get to go to the next star from where I am. So I need to finish my board. Okay, let's see if we have everything. We have a board, we have characters that are the players, and they actually fit on all of my planets and stars, so that's good. We have a way to move, which is how to get from start to finish. And, oh, rules. You should think of some rules. So I think for my game, it's gonna go, we're just gonna take turns going around in a circle, rolling. I think because only one first person fits on a planet, I think if you land on that person, then the person goes back to the beginning. That's a good one. So if you land on the same planet as a person, the other person has to go back to the beginning. And your goal is to try to get to the end planet to save the galaxy. So that's my game, and I'm gonna work on it a little bit more and show you what I come up with. I can't wait to see what you come up with. See you soon. Okay, so I've added some more details to my game, and I think it's finished. What I did is I finished coloring the background, and I actually got out some paints because it made it go a little bit faster. So I painted my background blue to look like sky. I added color to all of the planets, all different colors. And then I decided, because the planets were kind of close together, that you didn't really know which way to go. So I added some arrows to my game so the people playing know which way to go. And then I finished my cube. Oh, and the other thing, I also added a title, because board games usually have titles on it. It makes it pretty exciting. I finished my dice, or my cube, and I put all the planets on it and a star, so you know where to go to next. And then I finished my character. Darth Maul, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, and Yoda. So I think my game is ready to play. You may find as you're playing your game that you might want to make some revisions or add to it. I already have ideas for cards that I want. Like maybe if you land on one of my stars, you have to pick a card and it asks you a Star Wars trivia question, and if you get it right, you get a roll again. Just another idea I had. I think I'll add that to my game. But let's play a second and see how it works. I'll go first. So I got a star. So I think I'm gonna be Yoda, and I'm gonna go to the first star I see. Your turn. Orange. So you're on orange, so that means you get to go to the next orange. Oh wow, you're really far up already. Blue. I'm gonna go to the blue planet. Red. Oh man. You're really getting close to the end of the game. Red. Oh, sweet. So in my game, my rule is if you land on the same space as another player, you get to send them back to the beginning. This is going to be so much fun. I can't wait to play it tonight with my family. I can't wait to see what you all come up with. Please share with us what you make, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good week. Bye.